Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to level up your innovation game by diving deep, and I mean deep, into the world of professional patent searching. So forget what you think you know, because we are going way beyond just typing in a few keywords. We're going to show you how the pros find out what's truly new. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start by talking about the limits of keywords. Then we'll get into cracking the patent code. From there, we'll trace an idea's DNA, check out the AI search revolution, and finally, we'll pull it all together into one powerful strategy. So, you've got it. A brilliant idea, maybe even a game changer. But, the very first and honestly the most critical question you have to ask yourself is, now, a keyword search, that seems like the obvious first step, right? But here's the problem. Patent language isn't written to be intuitive. It's written for legal precision. And that little difference, well, it creates a massive trap for innovators. And this slide right here illustrates the problem perfectly. You might search for paper bin, but the patent you really need to find is called an arrangement for the disposal of refuse. I mean, come on. Inventors and their lawyers use this kind of dense, techno-legal jargon that you would probably never think to search for. And that means you could easily miss critical prior art and wrongly assume your idea is totally unique. So how do you get around this whole language problem? Well, you use a system that doesn't really rely on ambiguous words at all, and you learn a much more precise way to combine the words you do use. This is where we start to think like a real patent examiner. First off, you can immediately level up your keyword game with what are called Boolean operators. Just think of and, or, and not as a kind of grammar for your search. They let you connect or exclude terms, which makes your queries so much more specific and powerful than just typing words into a search box. But the real pro-level tool, the one that patent offices all over the world use, is the Cooperative Patent Classification, or CPC. You can think of it like a universal library catalog for every invention, organizing them by their technical function, not by their tricky keywords. And here's the magic of how it works. The whole system is designed to let you drill down, moving from a massive category, like human necessities, all the way to a super specific subgroup. This structure is exactly what lets you bypass that keyword lottery and precisely target the technological area you actually care about. Okay, let's look at a real-world example of why this is so important. In this search, a researcher combines some keywords with a pretty general classification code, C12P7, and the result? 0 patents. Based on this, you might think, great, I'm in the clear. But this is a classic and dangerous false negative. But just watch what happens next. By adding only a few more digits to get more specific with that subgroup, boom, the exact same search suddenly finds 5 highly relevant patents. They were there the whole time, just hiding in plain sight. That, right there, is the power of using CPC. Okay, so you've found a relevant patent. That's a huge win, but that's really just the beginning of the story. To get the full picture, you need to understand its history, its origins, and its influence. And we do that by following the citation trail. You see, every patent has a kind of bibliography, a list of older patents and research that it builds on. These are called backward citations. They're like the invention's family tree, showing you the foundational tech that made it possible and revealing the shoulders of giants it's standing on. Now, on the flip side, forward citations show you an invention's future. By tracking which newer patents reference the original one, you can actually measure its real-world impact and influence. A patent with a ton of forward citations, that's often a landmark innovation. So the big takeaway here is that citation analysis is not just some academic exercise. No way. It's a hardcore strategic tool. You can literally map where a technology is heading, see what your competitors are cooking up, and even pinpoint opportunities for licensing or collaboration, all just by following these connections. And now, we enter the next paradigm shift, artificial intelligence. AI is fundamentally changing the entire search process, moving it from a manual task of just matching words to a conceptual one of actually understanding ideas. And the difference is profound. I mean, it's night and day. With a traditional search, the burden is all on you to guess every single possible keyword and code. But with an AI-powered semantic search, you can just describe your idea in plain English, and the AI understands the concept. It'll find relevant documents even if they use completely different words. And the capabilities are just exploding. I mean, imagine being able to analyze thousands of patents in just a few minutes, having an AI automatically group them by concept and flag emerging trends for you. You can even search using an image or a diagram, not just text. This isn't science fiction. This is what's possible today. But, and this is an absolutely crucial point to remember, AI is a tool. It's there to improve efficiency and make your search more comprehensive. It is not a replacement for human expertise. It can find the documents, sure, but the strategic interpretation, understanding all the nuances and making those critical judgment calls, that still requires a professional.
So we've got keywords, we've got CPC codes, citation trails, and AI. How in the world do we combine all of these powerful tools into one single comprehensive strategy?
And this right here is probably the most important thing to take away from all of this. Relying on just one of these methods is a recipe for blind spots. The gold standard is a multi-approach strategy, where each technique covers the weaknesses of the others. That's how you ensure nothing gets missed. This professional 6-step strategy gives you a clear, actionable workflow. You start with keywords to find a few key patents. Then you pull the CPC codes from those patents and use them to find everything else in that technical category. Next, you follow the citation trails of the most important patents you found. And finally, you broaden your scope. See how it builds? This is how you get total coverage. And all this brings us to the ultimate point of mastering these skills, because this is about way more than just finding patents or avoiding infringement. It's about seeing the future. And this is why it all matters so much. When you can effectively navigate the world's patent data, you're not just looking at information, you're transforming it into strategic intelligence. It lets you make smarter R&D investments, anticipate what your competitors are going to do next, and position your own innovations for maximum success. You're turning a defensive task into an offensive strategy. So, we'll leave you with this one final thought. As these incredibly powerful search tools continue to get better and better, mapping the entire landscape of human knowledge, the ability to simply find information, well, it becomes less important. The most valuable skill of all becomes the ability to ask the right questions, to see the connections that others miss, and to identify that white space on the map where the next great idea is just waiting to be born.